Just a quick tip here in Blender. File import FBX. I've got a couple tractors. Go ahead and import those here. And I've already finished this one, so theoretically this will be easy. But I thought this could be really useful to somebody. So delete hierarchy, click on this one, and then we can see the images are not there. If we go and click on the mesh, we can see that this mesh has 4 textures, but it's not 4 separate meshes, it's one mesh with 4 textures. That's pretty awesome most of the time, but if you're coding like me, anyway, we've got these files. If you're coding like me, you might only want to change the color of one of them, so I'm going to show you a bunch of really quick tricks as fast as I can. But first we need to link these files up. So we go to base color, click on this image to link up file 7, which I happen to have in a folder right here. So you can start see the color coming in. Go to file 17, link up file 17, which I believe is the glass, yes. And so on file 17, we actually want to rename this one to _transparent. Transparent. And the thing to know about transparent, if you haven't seen this, it's online. And it says transparent image needs to be uploaded with an image named _br. That's our file 17 _br. And an image, so file 17 _mesa. And we can create a mesa file by going to texture paint, image, new image. I've set these to be really small, like 32 by 32, because they don't need to be really big. The color is RGB, where M is metallic, and I want this to be shiny or reflective, so I go 0.75. I don't need it to be emissive, so I leave that at 0. My specular I set to 1. Pretty sure that's the way to go. And then alpha I set to 0.5, so it's 50% transparent. And then I press OK, and then image save as, and I'm creating a folder over here called small tractor, and this is going to be called file 17 _mesa, and then save as image. There we go. And now we need to link up file 17. Oh, we already did. That's why it's gray. And now we can switch back to our modeling or layout. Yeah, layout view. And then we'll go to file 22, link that up real quick, and open that up. And then the last one, oh, is file 22 the weird one? We have file 28. Go ahead and click open, file 28. Okay, so file 28 worked. Yeah, file 22 did that on the other one too. I don't know why. The way I fixed this earlier was by deleting it, then clicking new, and then clicking base color, selecting image texture, and now it's already linked up with black. I think I still need to click open, go back to the source folder where file 22 is, press open image, there it goes. And then I can rename this to be file 22. And so here is my tractor. And I want the blue piece, if I don't actually have a way to show you this yet, but we need to make it so they're separated into pieces so that I can just dye the blue piece via code. And so I'll even show you the line of code in case that's of interest in just a moment. But if we go and select from object mode, we want to tab into edit mode. You can also do it via the drop down, like I just did there. And then we can select this whole mesh, right click. Actually, I think you have to press P, isn't it? So you click A for selecting all, then press P on your keyboard and select separate by material, which will break it into 4 separate pieces, and you can now turn each of these pieces off. So this is the piece that I want to dye with code and change the color of, but the tires also have some color on it. Anyway, you can see all the 4 pieces here. So that tire grouping has some blue in it that I want to get rid of, and then we've got the glass there, so it's nice. So let's start by fixing the tires, and to do that I've got my folder here with file, going back to purchase models, tractor, source, file 17, no, 22. Here's file 22. So we're going to right click open with Photoshop 2024. You can use your preferred tool. I'm sure there are multiple tools you can use to do this. The way I do this though is by grabbing my quick selection tool, dragging through. You'll notice that it doesn't matter about the gray sections if you select those, but the brown I want to leave and the other colors I want to leave. And then once I've selected all of the blue section, like that, I can then just double check. I'm okay with all of those being blue and red and orange. Press Command. I think this is not supposed to be blue. Maybe this one's not supposed to be blue. I think it's okay though. I didn't do it in the other one. I'm debating whether I'm going to go fix it. So Command J, and then go to Adjustment Layers, grab a Hue and Saturation layer, drop the saturation, nice. Then right click and convert to Smart Object. And now it's only affecting those two. I can then click File, Export, Quick Export as a PNG into the small tractor file as file 22 BR. Save, there we go. All right, so now I've got my updated file 22. I'm gonna close out of Photoshop now. Quit Photoshop. Don't save for now. I'm gonna look in a minute, and if we can swap this out. That was file 22, and I don't know why, but for some reason I have to merge these. So let's merge these back together, because I only needed this piece to be separate, right? So we can take these 3 pieces, and then we need to join them by being in object mode and right click and join. And now that they're joined together, I now have 2 separate pieces, and I can then take, because you want less draw calls in Horizon, right? I can then go into the big piece and click on file 22 and select the new file I made. You don't have to do this, but it's nice to preview it before you go into Horizon. So I'll go to the small tractor folder, grab file 22 that I made, press open. And now when I turn off this one, you can see there are those little blue dots on the front. If I turn this off and we look around, there's these 2 blue dots up here and the blue dots here. And I think that is the only problem areas that still had blue on it. And I might just leave that there. They're kind of cool. It's an accident, that's fine. Okay, so we've split them up and we named that one transparent. We've got all the files linked up. So now we click File, Export, FBX, go into my small tractor file. I like to name it small tractor, and there we go. Press Export FBX. And now that I got those exported, I'm going to quit Blender, although I was thinking I might bring in the other tractor just to see how the green looked on that, or the orange looked like. File, import, FBX. I had large tractor, import. There it is. And, oh wait, those are blue on this one. Oh, isn't that curious? Okay, then we're definitely leaving them blue. Never mind, those are supposed to be blue. I'm not a tractor person, I'm learning. Okay, don't save. All right, so now that we got that, there are a few files I'm missing, which is file 28, file 17, and file 7. So I'll Control C or copy those. Head back over to my new final models, small tractor, Command V. And there we go. So now we've got our 5 files here, and we can now upload our small tractor and large tractor files to Horizon. So I've got a little folder here, refresh, and once that's refreshed, I should be able to upload pretty reliably. Okay, is it going to load me into the folder I was in? I'm hoping so. It looks like it should. There we go. Import 3D model, choose files, head over to the small tractor first, since that's the one we worked on. Select all that. I feel like you got to select this one first. Like, this is just like, there's always these weird bugs when you're uploading. So I don't know. Import, and then I always feel like if I leave this page, if I even like scroll to the left or right, like I can't touch my computer. I'm using my mouse, but I think even that like scares the heck out of me, because so often it'll say failed, and then I have to re-upload, which is just tedious. Okay, it worked. That time it worked. Let's go. And then we go import 3D model. We'll do one more while we're waiting on that. Large tractor. We'll do the steps in case there is like a process. Import. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I thought that might be helpful to some of you. And I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video. You can see you get an error about the pivot points because there's 2 models in it, right? It says you have 2 meshes, validation, but everything else linked up good. So I can't wait to go see these in VR. Very, very cool. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Sorry, I almost forgot. This is the line of code. So I have a function for tinting mesh. I passed in the color. I pass in the child. So my group, you can get the children of the group, and the children that I set at index 0, so the one at the top, if you're using the hierarchy in the build editor, or the first one selected if you're not, is index 0, and then I can call it a mesh entity, and then I can pass in parameters for how tint strength and brightness, so 0 and 1. And then if I run over to our color utilities file, which is down here under utility color, you can see that the tint mesh says, okay, if that is a mesh entity, so you did actually give us a mesh, then we can take the style, so say mesh entity.style.tint color, and set it to the color that was passed in as a parameter. And then the tint strength is set, and I do some math here to make sure that stays between the bounds of 0 and 1. And then the brightness, I do the same thing. And so math.min and math.max is similar to clamp in code blocks. Okie dokie. Now for reals, bye.